because we all know, right, perception is reality. And, that is one of the key things that I teach. It's about creating a perception in the marketplace. And so you can be really great at what you do. You could have the best products and services, but if it doesn't have the right perception that lands over there with your target audiences, your opportunities, we'll say, compromised. All right. Hey, everyone. Reed Perez here, CEO and founder of Branding for the People. And I want to welcome you to another interview and a conversation that I'm having with a good friend of mine and also a former client of Branding for the People. His name is Anthony Hall of Summit Sales. Anthony, welcome, man.
What's up, Reed? So grateful to be here, brother. Always grateful to see your face. Yeah, thanks for the intro, brother. Yeah, so a little bit about Summit Sales. We help established entrepreneurs and small businesses systematize their sales process in order to improve conversions, establish clear performance metrics, and ultimately increase their customer lifetime value. So very grateful to have worked with Reed to establish that purpose, but also just to be able to get some of the necessities for my brand up and running.
Yeah. So now we kind of we got to know each other over the course of, I think, several years, going to the same events, sort of being around the same circles of friends and whatnot. But, what was the problem that you had prior to going through the branding process? What was the problem that you were trying to solve?
Yeah, for me, one of the things that always stuck out to me every time I heard you speak, and something that I was never familiar with in terms of branding, is what others are perceiving of me, and really just your angle of perception. I'd really never thought so much about that. I always thought about what's my vision for the brand? What do I want? What's going to appeal to me the most? Not really understanding that it's not myself that needs to be converted day in and day out. It's established businesses, established entrepreneurs. And so really kind of understanding that perception piece and recognizing established brands that's already out there, and that's, kind of what they've done to establish that perception for their audience as well. So, I can always go back to the slide where all the different logos that you have that you always show as well. But that's really what always stuck out to me the most, in realizing, wow, my clients are out there. I need to do more to go out and attract more of those clients. But B, I need to make sure that they're perceiving me in a way that I know I can truly best serve them, and it's ultimately going to be attractive to them as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you brought that up, because we all know, right, perception is reality. And, that is one of the key things that I teach. It's about creating a perception in the marketplace. And so you can be really great at what you do. You could have the best products and services, but if it doesn't have the right perception that lands over there with your target audiences, your opportunities, we'll say, compromised. It may not be the end of the world, but your opportunities are compromised. So I'm glad that you picked that up. And you decided to say, oh, it almost seems like it was a problem you didn't know that you had, that you needed to solve, because 100%. Now you were aware about perception and branding.
Yeah, so much, and so much in the sales world too. A lot of it is tight, buttoned up, no fun to be had in sales. Let's keep it intense with the numbers and stuff. And working with you, Reed, kind of allowed me to be aware that that's one thing that people valued in perceiving me and my brand, was like that fun, that jester archetype, if you will, and so it was something that I didn't even realize, like, man, as much as I pull Reed's chain, bug him as much as possible. But at the same time, that is why a lot of people end up doing business with me, because we keep sales fun. We keep that fun vibe throughout the whole experience, whether we're helping you build a system or whether we're helping you place a full-time rep. And so, yeah, you were super helpful on that aspect as well, just to help me understand that can be kind of my angle, that can be included in my language and my brand and everything that's involved with it. And it allowed me to kind of really just accept it, right? And run with it and say, I don't have to be so square and crunchy. I can
buttoned up. Yeah.
Vibe, even though we're just wearing black shirts here. We got a lot of color in the brand.
Hey, we're on brand. Well, it's interesting. I'm glad that you said that, because, I wrote a book recently, and the book really is about authenticity. And really, because I know you in person, before I start to understand what you do as a business, that fun energy, and you light up the room whenever you're there. And so that fun energy and that personality wanted to come out into your branding. One, because it's authentic, and two, it actually differentiates you in the sea of other people that do what you do, where they are sort of buttoned up and maybe more boring or, I don't know, engineer like. So it's about owning that. So I'm glad you picked that up. But I do want to ask you, because I asked this, and a lot of people that might be listening in are either potentially thinking about going through the branding process, whether it's with my agency or for themselves. But why did you ultimately decide to work with our agency? You know, there's other people that you could have worked with. What was it for you that made the difference in your decision-making process?
Yeah. Well, for me, I think it was just kind of your approach to it. Not only have I been to your events and seen some big, awesome names run to the back of, the room and sign up for the things that you're offering there. But, I think it was just kind of your simplicity with that whole approach. Like, we're going to dial in your brand strategy. We're going to get really clear on your brand identity, and we're going to understand how that contributes to your brand marketing. And so, just keeping that simple structure like that for me, like, and anytime I'm working with clients, whether it's how do you construct a high ticket offer or, anything in terms of that, it's what's your methodology, what's your proprietary process, and getting this person from beginning to end with an end result. And so you've had that framework, you've always had that framework. And so it's just something that, as again, hearing you speak more and more, I was able to put it together and understanding that a little more so, and then recognizing that, yes, that is something that I want to experience and go through. But at the same time, it was kind of revelationary for me, because I started recognizing some of my counterparts, other entrepreneurs that were, created brands and logos and stuff like that. But I started realizing as they were growing, they were being incongruent with their services in terms of how they were being branded across entirely through those services, the different products. And so it started becoming more like, again, on my heart and mind, like I want my services to be consistent in terms of branding. I don't want them to be off brand or incongruent with each other. And so, yeah, all of that together, just kind of said, yep, Ree's the guy. He's the one that's taught me all of this. I've heard it over and over from him. So I'd be crazy
You
to
drank the Kool-Aid.
some other agency would do it. So as always, thank you. Thank you for that structure, and thank you for the insight, brother. I appreciate that.
What are some of the outcomes or results that you're experiencing now, having gone through that branding intensive?
Yeah. Yeah. So ultimately, and everything that we created from that, the whole packet that we got from it and completing it, I was able to give that to one of my near and dear friends who is a graphic designer. He does a lot of designing, not necessarily entrepreneur space, but in another space. And so this framework that I handed over to him, he's like, this is the easiest like logo design I've ever had to do, simply because he understood like what we were wanting out of it. We got really clear on like identifying logos in this intensive, like logos that I liked, understanding like fonts, like everything. And so the packet that we had to be able to hand over to him from a design perspective, he was able to turn around like insanely quick and with very few edits. Like his second logo he came back with, I was like, that's it. That's exactly what I was wanting, On top of that too, it helped on like my copywriter side for the copy flow and understanding like the archetypes that we're going to be using in the copy structure. It was powerful because it helped him to understand really well the target audience that I was trying to speak to. There was literally verbatim words that helped create in that he was able just to cut and basically paste for the site as well too. And then, for the designer, it was, everything just ran so smooth and working with all three parties, making this all come to life. And so, just forever grateful for it. It was something I didn't realize, you think, okay, I need a website, I need this, but people just don't focus enough time on the brand strategy itself. And so instead of just putting something out there, invest in your brand strategy, get really clear on that picture so everything else is so smooth. And my recommendation would always be Ree.
Well, anyway, so there you have it, Anthony. Listen, thank you for sharing your wisdom and your time and your experience. It was a pleasure and an honor to work with you. I'm looking forward to seeing the more successes you're going to have with this process. And I really appreciate how you show up as an entrepreneur. It's really inspiring, and I look forward to checking in with you again real soon.
Awesome, brother. I'm always a phone call, text away, and I know you are too, brother. Love you to death, and thank you forever.
I'll chat with you soon. Cheers.